My fellow Americans.
Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
A man holds in his mortal hand the power to abolish all forms of human poverty and all forms of human life.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
One day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
He says, now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. I suppose we all thought that.
All right, let's go through some of these stories then. What kind of vibe? Oh wait, you wanted to talk about Ariana Grande or whatever the fuck her name is and Cynthia Erivo and their crazy like connection. It's wild.
Yeah, like I don't know what the fuck's going on, but they're also like starving themselves too.
Yeah, I feel like one of them was starving themselves, and because one of them was, the other one like started to. Like it was like a thing.
Yeah.
Did you see the video of both of them getting interviewed and a helicopter goes over and Cynthia Erivo has like a panic attack or something?
Yeah, she starts crying. Yeah, and then I don't know, like it's weird enough that they're crying. I don't know if it was because of the helicopter she started crying or because of like that was the moment. I guess I'm giving the benefit of the doubt of that clip. Being like, oh, it was the helicopter the trigger. Like, I don't know. They've just been crying all the time, helicopter or no helicopter.
Well, Ariana Grande did say like not now helicopter or some shit
Yeah.
like that. Like,
Yeah.
but it's like why? I guess because they're actors, they got to be dramatic. But like, this is too much. I don't know. This is like MK Ultra. Is shit like this? There's something called Project Monarch, where people, I think it's Monarch, where supposedly like there's like brainwashed celebrities and shit, and they end up having to like they clone celebrities or something and brainwash them and shit, make them crazy or act like nuts. Like Britney Spears was like the classic one of like being in Monarch. They say that a lot of the kids from like Mickey Mouse Playhouse might be like in Project Monarch or some shit.
Yeah, they kind of groomed them.
No, exactly.
I mean, all those kid actors and singers, they never want to talk about their childhood.
No,
you know what I
don't.
mean?
I
Some
mean,
just,
it makes sense.
go harder than others.
Even if it wasn't government connected, it would make sense that they had a fucked up, crazy childhood. Like at the bare minimum, you know what I mean? Like they probably had crazy parents that wanted to just like utilize them for like all kinds of nefarious things.
I mean,
namely money.
Oh, for sure. I mean, yeah, that's the whole point. These parents let these kids be exploited for all their worth, and who kept the money because the kids weren't old enough. So
Yeah, and you get like Amanda Bynes situations and like
exactly,
and yeah, and
Britney
Spears, exactly.
and
Literally.
all these kids, man. I mean, Michael Jackson fucking went crazy. Obviously, well, I don't know if crazy, but yeah, he went crazy. He got that surgery, and he fucking went nuts.
Yeah, Michael Jackson didn't have to do a lot of the things he did. He became the king of pop. He didn't have to you know what I mean?
Yeah, but he was abused by his dad.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of it comes down to is like there's like abusive parents and then abusive producers and shit like that. And if you get like both in the same like lifetime, it just, you know what I mean? It just, you end up like Corey Feldman or somebody crazy.
That's straight
Not
up hell,
crazy,
dude.
but like, in a fucked up situation.
Well, bro, you grow up, right, and you're a kid. You don't want to pay attention to like 90% of the things around you, but then they're like, "Yo, you're making," Justin Bieber was making a bunch of people money, but he was a kid, so he just couldn't like turn to it. Like this kid just couldn't turn to anybody he trusted, anybody he thought he trusted.
No,
had
he had
unconditional love for, just
he had
fucking
P.
used
Diddy.
them. Yeah, Diddy. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, exactly, dude. Fucking, it's fucked up, bro.
And not to come full circle, but in hindsight, looking at all these like crazy producers, you know what one comes up a lot is Nickelodeon. And you know where Ariana Grande's from is Nickelodeon and Dan Schneider and all that. So like maybe
Mhm.
there's like a connection there
Dude,
of why
100% there's
like
a connection there.
yeah,
And
and
yeah.
they tried to do this pilot. I remember reading about it about this pilot that what's her face Ariana Grande or Grande, whatever the hell her name is. I'm gonna probably say her name wrong a bunch of times in
It's
this.
like the coffee at Starbucks.
Yeah,
Grande.
that's a grande. All right, so then, well, all right, yeah, I thought it was
Yeah.
grande, but I've heard people say grande, and I don't want to get it wrong.
Is there a
Oh,
different? I don't hear a difference. Grande is just like big in Spanish.
well, yeah, I guess just like I hear it with the e as silent, but I don't think that's how it
Oh,
actually is. I think it is grande. I think it is like Ariana
I think it's
Grande.
Grande. It is,
Yeah,
yeah. I think so.
yeah, yeah.
That's about right.
So there was a pilot that she did with Jennifer, I think her name is McCready or McCurdy or something like that.
Mm.
And Jennifer McCready or whatever, they did this pilot as like a sequel. Our listeners will know of the show iCarly, famously by Dan Schneider. It wasn't a spin-off of Drake and Josh because it was different characters, but it was kind of like utilizing Miranda Cosgrove's like star power
Yeah.
from Drake and Josh. Yeah, right.
Yep.
And
Yep.
and putting it like into like a different show. So
Hmm.
what ended up happening is she had a co-host or a co-star, a co-host. She had a co-star named what the hell was her name? I forgot, but it was Jennifer
Yeah.
McCready, the actress.
Hmm.
And after iCarly became a success, they ended up wanting to do a TV show with Ariana Grande and her character from iCarly, and it was Ariana Grande's character from the show called Victorious. And
Hmm.
I guess from what I heard, like if you watch the pilot for the show, it's really fucking weird. I'm just gonna say that if anybody watches it, it's fucking strange, and I probably just wouldn't recommend it. But it's super weird. It's like think of all the weirdest shit that was in iCarly, and there was a lot of weird shit in iCarly. But think of all the weird shit in iCarly, and they pretty much like distilled it into this one episode of this new show. And
Hmm.
if you look back, and Jennifer McCready actually recently wrote a book about doing like being an actress at the time
Hmm.
or actor, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Like acting in this show. And she recalled about how like the producers, I think it's Dan Schneider, but I'm not trying to be wrong on this, so I'm just gonna say it was a producer. It was a famous producer on the show.
Yeah.
Showered Ariana Grande with like massive amounts of like attention and like respect and love. And I guess Jennifer McCready like was not like reciprocating anything like in or
Damn.
I should rephrase that because that sounds fucked up. That sounds crazy. I guess Jennifer McCready was not taking kindly to anything that was like outside of her comfort zone. So what she ended up doing was she I guess wrote about like how Ariana Grande was. And if you look into like the past
Oh.
of these people in like pop culture, like Ariana Grande being involved with like a producer on a Nickelodeon show, you recognize a pattern of like different actors who end up just having a falling out and like not I'm not trying to sound cruel, but like end up having like a messed up like life later on or like end up in a weird situation. And like you have
Oh yeah.
Ariana Grande, you know what I mean? Amanda
Hmm.
Bynes, you
Hmm.
know,
Yep.
it's crazy. Drake Bell is another one.
Hmm.
Possibly Josh Peck. He seems like he has some demons in his closet, but he seems like he's handling it the best way he can.
Yeah.
Um,
He gotta escape all that shit.
he did, but there is. Can you see this too? But there's a weird vibe about him, and I'm not trying to sound like an asshole because
You're
he
good.
seems like a good guy, but you know what I mean.
Hmm.
There's there's something there where he definitely has some skeletons in the closet. And I get that. If you're coming from like the Nickelodeon like area and you don't end up like Drake Bell or Amanda Bynes, you're doing pretty good for yourself, even if you've got a little bit of weirdness about you.
Yeah, I think I forgot where I saw the interview, but they interviewed Josh Peck. I forgot what. I wish I remembered. I want to rewatch it, but yeah, there was a weird vibe with him where he was like, I think there were some things where he just like didn't feel comfortable talking about, or he would just like kind of beat around the bush.
Well,
You
that
know?
makes sense. Yeah, probably a lot of stuff with Drake Bell because I feel like
Yeah,
he doesn't want to
yeah.
talk about that stuff.
He didn't want to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he'd be like, I totally forgot who interviewed him, but dude, but yeah, I mean, you're saying Ariana Grande got into like weird shit, dude. Her career is super weird. Like
It
she
is.
dated
Mac
uh
Miller,
Mac Miller, who
Pete
like
Davidson.
Pete Davidson. That was weird, but like she like played that one show where there was like a shooting.
What show was that?
Do you remember that?
No.
Dude, she was like somewhere in Europe, and then there was a fucking shooting in her show, like a terrorist attack. It was somewhere in Europe.
No, I didn't know that, but I don't know. Her career's taken a weird turn. Like she went into music, and like
Mhm.
it's been still a thing. Is she still like a musician
I
or like a
mean,
singer?
yeah.
I
I
haven't
mean,
heard anything of it.
she got the Wicked gig for being I mean, she has her
Oh,
singing
that's
part.
true. I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that. The Wicked
Oh yeah,
gig.
she's like a musician, but she also happens to be an actress. You know, and then
Yeah,
I haven't seen the movie, and
me either. I'm probably
I
not
don't know if I
going
want
to be
to.
honest. Yeah, I'm
But
not gonna watch that.
now, like, no, like you think like maybe they're acting this way, so people would be like, oh shit, like this movie, like that's so weird. We should watch this movie and see what the fuck, like how they are in the
I
movie, you know?
I think you're saying it's a PR stunt, and I think you're 100% right. And you want to know what else happened like a
What?
100 years ago? Is Judy Garland was like starved and like put through hell on the set of Wizard of
Oh
Oz.
yeah, dude. Oh,
So yeah, so maybe they're trying to like
and
play
the
off of
Hanging
that like
Man.
yeah, yeah. But like the fact that she was given like meth and all this crazy shit, maybe they're trying to play off of that in a really fucked up crazy way, which if that's the
Maybe.
case, then that's cruel and unusual and
Mhm.
that would honestly like when we on this pod we talk about like how like the elites are doing all this crazy weird ritual like fucked up shit. Maybe
Mhm.
that's involved in it is they're trying to repeat patterns of things that have happened in order to like make like a ritualistic like people call it like a humiliation ritual, like when Kanye went crazy, or like all these actors or actresses or what have you, like whenever they get into like some crazy shit that like humiliates them in the public eye. I'm not saying that what's happening is humiliating, but I'm saying like this is what people call it, is a humiliation ritual. And supposedly it's a way to gain star power in like Hollywood. Like they say that Will Smith went through that when everything was happening with him. Like a lot of
Mm.
crazy shit. You know what I mean? Like keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
So they try to like humiliate themselves in order to like I don't know, like I don't know what it is, man, but like
Well, think about it like this. Ready? So think about like who gets a lot of attention. Like we have a whole TV show called America's Funniest Home Videos where people just completely embarrass themselves all the time. So
yeah.
if you're a star and you embarrass yourself, if you've attained all this star power and you embarrass yourself, I'm not saying this is how it is, but like hypothetically speaking, if we're like talking about spiritual energy and shit, you're going to get a lot of people who are going to focus their attention and talk about you, good or bad. People are going to be like, "Ooh, I care about this person," or "Ooh, what is wrong with this person?" And you're going to get a lot of
Mm.
power because of that. You know what I mean? Like
Like the
in the
jester,
yes, exactly, exactly.
you
And
know, the king's telling the jester to like do something.
Exactly. And it's for the king's amusement, but at the end of the day, it keeps the
Mhm.
jester around and it keeps him at one of the higher echelons of power. Even though
Yeah.
he's technically not, he still gets to stay in the palace. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So who's the king?
Well, the king would be like the Illuminati, like all these rich and powerful individuals that like run the
Yeah.
show behind the scenes. Like,
Right. And nobody knows who they are.
well,
Really.
no, you're not supposed to. If
Of
you think
course.
you know who they are, you're basically you know the surface level probably. You know, they say like the Rockefellers, and there's another family name that
Yeah.
goes along with that one.
But
There's
there's
the
there's one person controlling everybody.
well, there might be. There might be a god. There might be there might be one monarchy that controls planet Earth, and it might not even be like a human entity. It could even be something else.
It's a pig.
It's a pig. Oh, I think that's true.
Just a cute pig that goes oink oink oink, and it's just like kept in like a little like pig barn.
Yeah. Hey,
It's like yeah.
what would Trump's reaction to a pig be barking at him? Omnipotent pig entity.
You mean his
It'd be his new
his,
catchphrase.
his secretary?
No, he'd go like quiet piggy.
Yeah, wasn't that to Levy?
No, he did that to a random reporter.
Oh, really? I thought it was okay. I thought he was talking to like one
No,
of his
no, no.
secretaries.
It was a reporter. That's just how he
Oh,
treats women and reporters apparently.
yeah.
Anyway, we all know that about him. But I don't know. I don't think there's one person who controls Earth. I think what it is it's a series of entities. And I don't mean entities in like a cosmic or spiritual sense. I mean in like a
People.
yeah, exactly. Like organizations or companies. I think it's a series of entities
Hmm.
that are lined up in a certain way that practice and attain power any which way that they can. And
Uh,
like you know what I mean? Like they talk about like back in the day the CIA used to like do like psychic research and shit like that. And it's not necessarily because the CIA had like insider knowledge that they thought this worked, and maybe they did, but it's also because like if there's a way to alter the course of human history or alter anything, you know what I mean, in
hmm.
any kind of way to work on your side, then the people running the show are going to attain that or try to work at that. And that's why
Hmm.
you had like, you know what I mean, like the CIA trying to remote view Mars and shit. Because if it's possible to do that before the Soviets do, then, we're able to do so much with that, if that's
Oh,
real,
for sure.
you know?
It is real. That's like I mean, the US right now is working on fucking surveillance systems because other
Oh, yeah.
superpowers are using them.
Oh, yeah. And
And it's like they gotta get on the ball with that.
yeah, I don't think we
But
have to, but I think we're going to. I think it's
right,
a
right.
you know what I mean? It's one of those I see what you're saying though. Like it's like the AI thing is like a new space race. So even if like we're developing all these rockets, so to speak, or drones or like things that are like deadly technology, we're doing it to win that new race.
Dude, bro, I've said it like when Facebook came out, before Facebook was a thing, signing into a website to check your anything wasn't a fucking thing. You'd call the bank and that's it. You don't need a profile, an email, just like, you have your account and that's it. Like you have your progressive account, that's it.
Yeah.
Facebook started the whole social media like Facebook, well, definitely Facebook. MySpace was definitely before Facebook, but I think
Yeah.
Facebook kind of perpetuated that into like a public form
Yeah, it took everything
or
and combined it.
and combined it. But like after that, dude, everything became like, oh, you gotta sign in to like use this service, like dude, everything we do now is like we gotta sign in, right? Like banking,
Yeah.
your phone, your telephone. It's like you have like an email connected to your, your AT&T little like website, or like, fucking everything needs a fucking email signing.
Yeah. No, I
And
agree. And you also mentioned like the phone. I think iPhone also.
yeah,
iPhone kinda
and your
kicked all
phone, like
this
just
into
your
it.
telephone, like something that was like a cord on your wall became like you got to sign in with your email in order to use the service and have your contacts and like have all
Yeah,
your
that's
stuff.
wild.
It's wild, dude. And I've always said, dude, I'm like, one of these days, I bet you like Facebook is it's gonna be illegal not to have a Facebook.
Oh
Like
yeah.
if you don't have an online profile, it's like not having a social security number. It's just like illegal. Like you need to have fucking way of tracking you.
Yeah,
And I mean that's the way it is now.
we're moving towards something called like a social credit score, which is like what China has, where
Yeah,
you have to like be plugged into the system, and if you're well liked, then people, you'll get like that like boost in the system. But if
yeah.
you like have any negative thoughts or anything against like any nonconformist beliefs, I should say,
Mhm.
I
Well,
that
that's
can lend
already
yourself to
happening.
it. It is.
And
It,
without, it's like a trial mode right now. It's like, because like everything, like when you post something on your Instagram, you don't like no not many people see it unless people like it, right?
yep. Yep.
And that's your credit score.
It is.
Like you get more views upon people's likes on your stuff. So that's why like kids now, man, are they feel so alienated, dude. Because like they just look at their peers and they're just like, oh my god, like Billy is getting all the likes and the popularity, and then they go to school in real life, and kids have like a already an idea of like, oh, this kid's like very popular on the social media, so we're gonna like him
Well,
more than this
all
kid
right.
that doesn't get any likes,
So,
right?
in all fairness, I want to say, coming from a public school, I feel like it was kind of like that for me already because like social media wasn't involved at the time.
Right.
What I felt like though was that there were already like set cliques and like
Yeah.
groups of people that like
Mhm.
grew up together at certain like I went to a school where there were a bunch of like elementary schools and then like a big middle school and high school.
Yeah.
And what I saw was like all the people that were like kind of like more of the popular kids that were like in their like respective schools, they ended up being like in a similar like grouping later
Yeah.
on. You
Oh,
know what
for
I mean?
sure.
I
Yeah.
didn't think there was that much of like I feel like there's vibes with people, even with kids. Like kids recognize each other's vibes. Like
100%.
they're like, this kid's cool. This kid's not awkward. This kid can catch a football. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever kids
Like,
do.
but now, like, you were able to go to school, kind of experience this, kind of like, okay, maybe I'm not one of the popular kids or whatever, but you were able to still connect with yourself when you went home. Like, you read books, you watch your own shows. Maybe you talked to the friends that were like more around you that like would hang out with you after school. Now, kids like go to school, they get bullied in school, then they go home, they're already in social media and they get bullied they're still up in they're still focusing
Yeah.
on their schoolmates when they're supposed like kids are supposed to be in the school. Your life is supposed to be at home, and kids these days don't have that anymore. Well,
Well,
that's what
I
you get in
agree
like
with you.
sorry. Yeah, no.
Well, no, I 100% agree with you, but like what I'll say too is that like I think that's just been the number one issue with social media the entirety of its existence. And in saying
Mhm.
that, I think that's also like part of the issue of like why they want social media. I'm not saying it's to bully people, but I'm saying it's because they foresaw this like we're talking about like a social credit system.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
you know what I
Conditioning
mean?
people into this way of believing that because this person's popular online on a fake world and they're they're more valued in the real world, right?
Exactly.
And they're
Exactly.
conditioned to this.
And that's why they never fix that. They never want to fix the online bullying and stuff like
No,
that, is because they're conditioning adults to be in a certain path.
bro, and they're conditioning everybody. Now we have generations that are growing up with this shit, and that's their way of surviving.
Well,
You know,
that's
we
what I'm
don't.
saying. They
Yeah.
saw this, they foresaw this from the start, and like the people like Mark Zuckerberg and whoever the hell started MySpace, which I want to know who started MySpace, because that guy must be like CIA or some shit.
No, it was just Tom. He was in my top 8.
Well, that I know, he was my my first
Yeah.
friend. But I mean, I feel like that any company that gets massive, that like developed a way to like attain like
Mm-hmm.
a social system like that had like ties to like some kind of like group, but that's
Well,
besides the point.
it's
Well,
like the
yeah.
atomic bomb.
Well, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, and people like Mark Zuckerberg, you look at this guy and you're like, he's seen some crazy shit. And obviously he's probably like a sociopath, but like he's definitely got weird shit behind the eyes that he's seen some shit.
Oh yeah, he's been conditioned to just be what he is now. It's like when you do retail for a long time, you start changing your attitude towards people, because you just realize like, oh, I guess, I gotta just change.
Or if
Yeah.
you've been deep into the throes of like the Illuminati and you have to like nut up or shut up, so to speak, and go along with these weirdos and become a weirdo or
Oh,
be a weirdo with them.
yeah.
And like, have you heard of the guy we talked about him recently, I feel like, but I might say his name wrong. John McAfee, or
Oh, McAfee? Yeah.
yeah, McAfee. John McAfee. He
John.
yeah. He he famously is like in with these guys like the Jeff Bezos and like all these other dudes like the Mark Zuckerberg guys, but he also famously like kind of went against the grain and like went against like black ops and crazy shit, and like started talking about like how like
Oh yeah.
if he goes away, so to speak, it wasn't from him, it was from somebody else, or
Oh
like
yeah.
or
Hello.
entities. Wait,
Sorry.
yeah. But you get what I'm saying. Like he he like came out against all this shit, and like a lot of people think that like he faked his death, or like there's like a lot of things that like he didn't actually like do that to himself, and that it was other people that did it to him. And it's like
Yeah.
he was like a real one, so to speak. And like you have all these other tech guys who don't like get like, McAfee. What ends up happening is they end up getting like kind of ghoulish and like becoming like these underground creatures, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we were having this conversation, me and the anti-host, and like we were talking about like maybe it's not just because all these people are like reptilians or like aliens and shapeshifters. I mean, there might be that, but like to
No.
look at like could be. But like to look at like you'll like this part, to look at the logical, reasonable response of like all these like sociopaths in tech. Maybe they just spent too much time like behind a computer, and it led to them having no social cues and just completely destroying their like their their sociology, so to speak. And that's what's happening to all these kids, I guess, to come back around to what we were talking about.
Oh yeah.
Like all these kids are gonna end up like all these tech billionaires that are like ghoulish entities that are just walking around just like with like nothing behind the eyes. And that
Bro, like,
sucks.
I mean, you see everybody now, like, everybody's on their phone. It's dead. You go into a room with like 4 people and everybody's on their phone, not like
Yeah.
engaging and conversing.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm guilty of that too. Like if I'm in like in line somewhere or something like that, and I've got a few seconds to kill, or I'm in a waiting room for some reason,
Yeah.
I'll like go on my phone or like do something else. Like I want to start reading a little bit more, like get like pocket sized books and just read if I've got time. But
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But
I honestly don't feel like I'll look at my phone and I'll scroll and stuff, but I won't scroll for too much because I like to like sometimes just like observe people and maybe like
Oh, yep.
if like I observe something with somebody else next to me, like a stranger, I'm always like I'll crack a joke or something. Like I get more of a kick out of that in the real
Yeah.
world than just like being like, oh well, I'm just gonna disassociate and just look at my phone because I don't want
Well,
to talk to anybody. I'm not.
I agree
Yeah,
with that, but I think for me at least it's a vibe thing where like I feel out the vibes of like the room, and if I feel like, oh yeah, this vibe like calls for like, conversation, or like there's some people, you know what I mean? I feel out the people that are talking, like,
oh yeah,
you know what I mean? I was recently in like a thrift store, and I overheard these two guys like talking over in the horror movie section of
yeah.
like the tapes, and this one guy was just going off to this other guy. Like you could tell the other guy like at a certain point just like wanted the dude to slow down and just to be like, hey,
Oh
I'm trying to
yeah.
look at these things. I think that's how I feel out situations too. Like I think, am I gonna love this interaction at the end? Like am I gonna have like an exit plan of like an interaction if some dude is like got like a lot of energy, or like not enough
Yeah.
energy, or you know what I mean?
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to like start conversation with everybody, but
I was gonna
I
say
mean
I
there
know
there's
that about you.
there's people there's people that like are they just keep going and going and going.
Yeah.
That's too much, and I totally get it. But I'm just saying, like sometimes, like me, I'm like I'm just gonna vibe out and just be in the moment and not look at my phone. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I'm out and I can just observe the moment without looking at my phone. Like, cause like what
Yeah.
am I looking at? Nothing. I'm just scrolling like random shit that I'm not paying that much attention to.
Well, if you are going to be on your phone too, you should make it productive. If I'm doom scrolling, I try to like put stuff that I look at on here on the pod. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I try to be productive about it, or like get ideas for like different things, and that's like a thing that I think everyone should do. Like I think that's one part about social media that's positive, is the amount of creativity that it's actually like allowed for like connectiveness amongst people. Like, you know what I mean?
I'd like to argue that it killed creativity,
I think it killed some creativity, but I think there's also
like real creativity,
for instance, there's people out there like you and I like the whitest kids you know. Now,
for sure.
right, we love Trevor Moore. He's cool. Like this podcast is a big Trevor Moore fan all
Right.
around. Like we respect him.
Oh yeah.
R.I.P. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's people out there that are a lot like him, or those guys, and they're out there, they're making content online, and they're doing their best to like get by and
Mm,
like do things, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
then there's people like Logan Paul, who took advantage of moments and are just like you know what I mean, skateboarding off of those moments years later because they have a name now. But
Yeah.
what
But
I
they're
think,
very different.
no, they are. But what I'm saying is I think that those people nowadays who are like trying to like make like, put out content that's like fun or funny, or like in their own kind of way, doing things that they love. I think that's a great thing, and sharing it amongst themselves, like I guess what I'm saying is like comedy and creativity are, I think, thriving in a way from social media.
Oh
And maybe
no.
that's, what is it?
I don't
I
I
don't
know I
think
see what
well, I don't think it's thriving at a good level, like up, like on the topper echelons, like the Rogansphere and shit like that. But I think there's like a lot of funny things that people are doing on an independent
no,
basis.
there's funny things for sure. But
Well,
to go
like,
back to the comparison of sorry.
well, I was just gonna
Mhm.
say, like, there's just one thing I saw recently, and it's a guy who goes to like different stores with eggs, and he pretends to be like from somewhere else, and he goes and he like puts two or three eggs on the counter and slices of bread, and people flip the fuck out on him. And it's like one of the funniest things, to be honest with you, that like I've seen in a long time. But it's like also like like the thing I sent you earlier about Joe Rogan, like there's a lot of funny things that people are doing that are dissecting culture or like trying to like shed a light on the things that we don't see or talk about in culture. And I think that right
Yeah.
there is we're in a golden age for that, like a what's the word? Like a self-awareness or self-realization. And that I think is a beautiful thing because we're starting to see through the bullshit on a certain level.
Yeah, no, we definitely have the technology to, you know, make videos and make funny stuff like that, like the Joe Rogan. But I don't think that's social media. It's social.
I
It's
I think
it's it's
social
it's
media.
it's just like somebody's creative making a video and finds like a funny topic. Like
I
Trevor
think it's part
Moore,
of social media, you know?
I mean it's published through social media by sharing it, but like if it's on YouTube, that's like a media form. That's like a platform. That's not social media.
I guess so.
It became social media because you know you can comment and people have profiles, but like the whitest kids you know wasn't founded on social media. It was just like it was on like a network, you know, and it was like a
Well,
creative skits that were just put on a network and then they were put on like streaming services. But Logan
well,
Paul
let me
did
ask
use
you
social
something.
media.
Let me
And it
ask
was
you
cool.
something.
Yeah, what's up?
What would you say the precursor to like social media is? A lot of people say it's the public what's the word? The public like court. What do you call that? The public something. A lot
Oh,
of people
the public public TV, like public channel or whatever.
well no, they say it's just like the like I don't know. It's like being out in the street and seeing like a bunch of people like in different groups all conversing and having their own interactions. I forgot what the word is, the public something. But they say that's like the precursor. And if you know what the whitest kids you know did is what they did is they went to like different places, they performed for crowds, they went up on in
Yeah.
theaters, they went like in
Well, that's not
different
social.
areas and
Yeah.
performed like in different areas. Even like I don't know if they did this, but like you could say like a lot of people like will perform like in the subway and like do their own like interactions and skits and stuff like that. And that's another form of like what people are doing. You know
But
what I
that's not
mean?
social media.
But what I'm saying is that that's where social media came from is those people getting out there and connecting. I'm not trying
Um,
to stick up for social media, but I'm saying like
no, I know you're not.
that that's what like it got to like at a certain point is people were going for that kind of like share the share the everyday person amongst the people kind of thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, people were just outside more, and then there were like entertainers and people who express themselves for just doing their thing outside. Yeah, I mean, okay, so just normal human interaction was the precursor to social media. I mean,
Yeah,
obvious,
exactly.
but like,
Exactly.
I mean, there's been public forums since the fucking Roman times, dude. Like,
Since the Roman times.
no, no, I'm dead serious, dude. There's
That's
like public forums since
I think
like,
that's actually what I meant is like public forum, like that kind of
dude,
thing.
yeah, no, there's like written uh I don't know, like comments from people that lived back in the day, and they would talk shit about like the politics, or would talk shit about their neighborhood, or would talk shit about this one specific person, and they would just
Yeah.
sign up with they wouldn't sign up with their name, or they would, you know what I mean? But that's like, dude, I mean, social media has been, I guess, like social media precursors been like just basic human thing, but like now it's so advanced and so fast and so easy to do
Yeah,
through
it's
one phone
evolved
that
to a
like,
dangerous and like a dangerous level.
bro, now you get people like, okay, Logan Paul fucking going to suicide forest and making fun of people hanging on trees when they committed suicide.
Oh, I
Now you
forgot
have
about that.
like
That
now
is
you have
crazy.
now you have you know, they stopped the live, like Facebook lives, because there are people putting live videos of them like shooting up uh auto zones.
What?
via social media, bro. That happens so many times. Yeah, dude,
That's
social media
crazy.
is horrible.
Yeah, but
And
this goes down to a basic thing. You know what that is? Is that's humans.
no,
Humans.
for sure.
It's not
Sure.
social media.
Yeah.
It's just humanity, man.
Well,
Because
let me digress.
humanity just or everything that we create, we reflect back into it. So, like when people say that AI is awful and horrible, it's because we think we're awful and horrible. It's, you know what I mean? It's because we're not utilizing these
We
things to the proper way that we should.
we know we're awful and horrible. Now we
Yeah.
think. No, we don't think that. We know that.
What
And it's
this
been
show is called As the World Burns, so we know.
well, and it's I mean, AI is being used for fucking crazy porn. There's there's safeguards in the United States. But when you go to Russia, bro, I can video shop anybody doing whatever the fuck I want with whatever detail I want and make it
Hmm.
look real and send it to somebody that they know and be like, yo, blackmail. You know what I mean? And they have to kind of,
Yeah.
dude, that's been happening now. And yeah, you're right. It's just normal human behavior. But I guess from like what I'm saying is the thing with social media now is that people can't escape it, dude. Like people can't go home anymore without turning on like their phone on again and see the people that like maybe annoy them or like see, they just got we're just stuck in that
Yeah.
negativity, and it's hindering our self-esteem big
But
time.
you know
Even
what else though? Is it that, like I'm saying though, is that's just a reflection of what you like put into it. Like I noticed that like my algorithm, if I start like liking certain things, will push me towards like Russia, Ukraine stuff. But
well,
if I like other things, it'll push me towards like UFOs or like Bigfoot or like ghosts. You know
oh
what I mean?
yeah, my algorithm is video games and drums and just like funny stuff. I'm not saying like this happens to me. I'm not. It's just like, okay, think about it this way: you get bullied at school, right? And then all you want to do is go home
Yeah.
and just be by yourself and like do the things that you want to do. Then you sign in, you want to talk to a friend online. Then you scroll through and you see a post about like something, like just something that like fucking triggered you again. And then you just
Yeah.
get into this depressive mode. And that's why these kids are committing suicide at such a young age because they're
Say
being called
wait, hold on,
ugly,
hold
they're
on,
being
hold on.
called fat and
Say
shit.
off themselves. Say
Sorry,
off
they off
themselves. Sorry.
themselves.
No, it's cool.
Doesn't,
I wanna, you know.
but you know what I'm saying? Like,
No, I agree.
um, I like, yeah, you can say all day like, oh no, you just gotta choose what your algorithm. No, like kids don't know. Like people growing up or vulnerable minds, even adults go through this shit, bro. They like,
Yeah.
I mean, QAnon, bro. How many people got turned into like crazy QAnon people that like
Well,
completely
this
fucked up their family
this goes
because
back to like what I've always said is like this. So QAnon, in my opinion, was always a deep state like scam or like something from the deep state where they were trying to run like a pro Trump kind of like campaign online from like some like secret black ops like type situation. And I think a lot of people have probably come to that like conclusion as well. But like it was definitely some kind of like deep state scam that was
well,
trying to like get at
these
people.
things,
But this
yeah,
happens all the time. Like there's like we were talking about like Project Monarch and like MK Ultra and all these like brainwashing like things that they tried to do. And it's like social media, yeah, is another brainwashing technique, but like they have all these different ways of like getting at people and like brainwashing them, you know?
yeah. And now, like, social media is the big one now, dude.
And you know what it comes down to is what do all these things do is they all breed contempt for other people. So like the people that are like into QAnon are gonna hate like the Clintons and like the Democrats and all these people, and they're going to love the Republicans, and they're not going to think anything is bad with the Republicans. And then the people who are really into like corporate politics and shit like that, who are Democrats, are going to look at the Epstein thing and think it's just like a hoax and think there's nothing there. But then if you're somebody who's outside all that like bullshit, you see like, oh, Donald Trump hung out with Epstein a whole bunch of times. Bill Clinton hung out with Epstein a whole bunch of times. You've got Democrats and Republicans who are both like, in on this shit, so to speak. And you have to realize that like the world's not black and white, and what they're doing is they're trying to push those narratives and those black and white perspectives onto people
Oh,
so
for
that you
sure.
can, you know what I mean? So that you can be like, oh, it's just the Democrats we got to worry about. Or oh, it's just the Republicans, those crazy Republicans we got to worry about. And it further feeds the discourse amongst the people, because then you're looking at like one side and you're like, well, why are all these people voting for a madman like Trump and trying to like feed into like his crazy ideas? But then other people are looking at it like, why are we voting for all these people that are clearly wrecking the country? And they look at it like, oh, these are Democrats, but no, it's not Democrats that are wrecking the country. It's not liberals, I should say. It's the corporate Democrats. It's these ones who took over the party in like say the 90s with Bill Clinton that are running the country into the ground. And the Republicans as well. George Bush ran the country into the ground. Trump continues to, in my opinion.
Both
But it's
sides are running the country into the ground.
exactly, and
Yeah, they have no power though. They have no power. They're at a mercy. They're like, there's just like like there's something going on where as everybody like there's a gun pointed at everybody's head. Like if they talk out of turn, dude, like if they talk against the grain, a lot of them are in
well,
danger.
you know what it is? I feel like a lot of these people are like what's the word? A lot of these people like I said earlier, humanity is kind of like waking up to the bullshit of like the people in power. And like whenever that happens, it's never good for like the entirety of like society. But it
Nah,
is well, no, it's not. But it's good for progress amongst people because like, at a certain point, like Rome became so substantial that it fell like inward of itself and collapsed under the weight of itself. And that's what happens to every great empire, is it always collapses under the weight of itself.
yeah,
And
there's
that's
a lot
what's
of stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
exactly. It's happening right now. It's like when you can't trust your leadership is when things go awry, when we start to, touch on those Roman end of days kind of prophecies, so to speak. It's when we start to knock on like an empire's end. And that's kind of what we're knocking on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, we're definitely more advanced, obviously, so who
Yeah.
knows? I think we do have the power. And to your point, yeah, like social media gave us the best power that social media gave us is connecting with anybody in the world.
Yeah.
And that is that there's strengthening numbers. Like, I mean, back in the day, the people in power, the king, they didn't want people knowing how to read. They don't want poor people knowing how to read and stuff because they can
No.
communicate. They can like have an education. Nowadays, you can have an education by not going to school and just like read up any information you want on your phone and talk, change ideas with anybody anywhere in the world. That's the best power we have. And yeah, we use it for evil instead of good.
Well,
Which
to
yeah, there's
your
like
point too, remember when you told me about like the Nepal like revolution? It was basically started because of like a social media thing because they wanted to ban it because they started like taking out like reporters and shit.
yeah.
Like they started taking out like
They
protesters and shit.
Yeah, they started killing protesters that were like, "Yo, you cut off my social media." Like You know, this is like
Yeah.
the only way to like communicate with anybody in the world. Um,
And in
yeah,
doing that, they kind of pushed like the idea that like, hey, we it's not that we need social media, but like if social media doesn't exist, there's no one to say that like the government, or if social media exists in the sense that there's only one person pushing the narrative, then
mm,
what could happen is we get like a government entity that can like twist the narrative or like make it seem like people aren't dying due to something when in fact they are.
I mean, remember what happened with like COVID and fake news, and it's like you can't post fake news on social media. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? That's what that happened. It just happened in like a more subtle scale in the United States.
So let me ask you something, and this might be a really charged question. So if we shouldn't talk about it, I can cut it out. But
Okay.
if you're down, let me know. What
Okay.
if what about if social media was around during the civil rights era?
Um, I mean, good thing people were writing a lot of letters.
Well, or taking photos. That was the big thing, and I think that's the most comparable to like social media is like if there were no photographers at the time when the civil rights thing was happening and people were just writing about it, then there would be no like footage of people getting attacked by dogs or like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? All this
Mm,
fucked up,
yeah,
horrible,
yeah.
horrible shit. You know what I
And
mean?
then
And
they,
that is a
yeah.
positive of social media or like spreading around the word about certain things is that you
Right.
can tell people about these fucked up, crazy situations that are happening.
Yeah, yeah, but like at one point, whoever's in power will be able to use AI or something to block all that shit.
And that's a whole
Maybe,
separate problem.
yeah,
That's
but I'm
that
just saying, like,
that's not a social media problem though. That and I'm not trying to like,
well, it's gonna be
I'm not
used with AI. So AI is being used in social media to lie to people.
I know
So
that's fucked up.
so that is both things. That's a problem.
It
It all
is.
connects.
I agree. I agree.
You know, like shit.
But that's
Like
why people always have to use social media to the common good, but also to their benefit and for humanity's benefit, I
but
guess.
unfortunately, people are just too lazy to even try to find out what's true or false. They just kind of see something and see it as true.
Hey, I'm asking my listeners to be vigilant. That's it. If
Be
anybody else,
vigilant. Be
yeah,
smart.
you guys be smart, be vigilant, you know.
Yeah. Make sure you're
Always
talking to a real person.
yeah, always question me. I might be not real one of these days. Who knows? I
I
mean, you could
mean,
probably
yeah,
I mean, yeah. Who knows? Like, you
your
could
voice
be
will be
talking.
used. Your voice will be used by AI, somebody else, and their
Please
their
don't do
show's
that.
gonna be more popular because they're pumping out episodes like 100 episodes a night.
They're just like constantly like telling like stories and like crazy shit with my voice
Dude,
and
constantly.
their YouTube channel gets like 100,000 subscribers. And I'm just like,
Yeah,
guys, I'm over here.
it doesn't matter. You're little. The algorithm doesn't even touch you.
No, the algorithm would not touch me whatsoever.
No,
That's hilarious. You're absolutely right.
it's fucked, dude. It's all
Eh,
happening now. It's
I'm putting
I
it
don't know,
out there
man.
right now. If
It's
anybody
all
does use our voices for AI, they better pay us.
they won't pay us. There's no
Hey,
laws.
I'm saying any use of my character or my persons is against my wishes. So
Me too.
pay pay up. I'm putting it down. Yeah, we're putting it down there right now.
Right now,
But if you
my
pay
voice,
up,
my money.
yeah, and if you pay up like at a price of my wish and possibly his wish if that's what he wants, um then we can negotiate depending on what the nature of the creation is.
I'm the only one allowed to use my mouth
Yes, he's the only one allowed
however
to
I want.
use his mouth to
However I
however
want.
he wants, however he wants, just like the POTUS.
Mm. Yes, exactly.
Exactly. Oh shit. Oh
Dude, yeah,
man.
I think, yeah. Oh man, come on.
Th-
I'm not
No,
gonna
no.
use names.
But
I'm not gonna get McAfee'd.
I'm not gonna get McAfee. No, we're not. We're not getting McAfee here. Hopefully not. Or,
I mean, bro, that shit is wild too. It's
yeah, I know.
happening it's happening right now, bro. It's happening right now. Every
So
that
let me
dude,
ask you something.
oh god. Yeah,
I,
what's up?
I, this is kind of a crazy subject, and I've been kind of steering away from like the crazier things lately, but like, let me ask you, what do you think about the latest thing that happened in DC with the National Guard? And let's not get into finer details
Mm,
because of the algorithm, but like, what do you think about that?
bro,
About how
I
he
think
was trained by certain entities.
bro, I think they're just sacrificing their lambs to
They
stir up
think,
shit.
yep,
They're sacrificing to stir up shit and just make other people look bad so that people's opinions are stronger to be in the negative.
yep. It's the drums of war, as
The
they say.
drums of war, dude. Dude, talk about going against the grain. I mean, we already mentioned him like 4 times, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Let's not say the
uh,
name, but I know who you're talking about.
in public, broad daylight.
Yeah. But the DC thing, like that guy had a direct connection to like the CIA. He drove from Washington State to DC in like 24 hours. And he walks up to these people, and you know what he says to the people?
No.
I should have worked for the Taliban.
Oh shit.
I swear to God, that's what he said to the people right before he went off. And what does that tell you? He doesn't work for the Taliban. That's what that tells me. It
Yeah.
sounds to me like he was hired by somebody and you know?
Yeah. It's weird, man. Yeah. But like, people will go into the craziest fucking conclusion. Bro, I okay, so client, I'm gonna say client that didn't believe on the internet. I was like, can you just like look this up? Like look this up, like all the information. She was like, I don't believe in the internet. Everything's a lie. And I'm like, I don't know how to help you. Like,
What does not believing in the internet mean though?
bro, people come with that conclusion. If people come into a conclusion without a logical explanation, they don't really there's no way out of that.
Yeah, I
Um,
forget what they call that. It's a logical fallacy.
yeah. So like, yeah, exactly. If you go into something on your own, just like being like, oh, this is I just believe this. This is what I feel. There's
Hmm.
no logical way they got there, so you can't use logic to get them out, and they're just stuck. And it's just like it's just the way they're wired. Something's just wired up in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna change their mind. I think it's just I don't know, but maybe I'm getting off the rails, but it could be like craziness, or the guy just was hired and was like, I don't want to do this. I should have worked for the Taliban.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like
Yeah.
it could be you never know, but like him
Mm,
saying those words in that moment is like kind of a weird and wild thing to do it. And for him to do that at such a time when it feels like the orange guy is kind of cuz I don't people might not remember a week ago because this is already kind of old news,
yeah.
but Trump and Mamdani had a momentous and historical meeting, and what have pretty much happened is they talked about some really crazy shit in that moment, and it seemed like he wasn't going to like put National Guards in like the major cities, and it seemed like he was
Mm,
going to pull out and like be more lenient on things.
yeah.
But then this conveniently happens, and it makes you wonder, like, who wants like National Guard in all the cities? Excuse me. Who wants National Guard in all the cities? Who wants more control over all of us? The
Yeah,
cities, everything. Who's putting people, in cities in order to abduct people and
yeah,
ship them off to God knows where?
yeah. It's gonna be a massive. The plan is, dude, is a massive people exchange.
Yeah.
It's not like they just go to a concentration camp. No, they're just round up people, be like, oh, these guys are illegal, these guys are dangerous. But they
And
just round up these people and they send them to these fucking other countries that they're never from, and they're horrible third world, just like authoritarian countries, and they just get fucking just lost. Did you?
well, can I really quick want to just say, because
Hmm.
I've said this before, if I'm not mistaken, but to an extent, I feel like I've saw this whole situation coming, and I've said this for a couple of years now. Anytime that like we like have any kind of mass
Hmm.
deportation, there was a situation in our history. I'm not saying our as in the United States, I'm saying the world history, where there was a certain group of people that decided to start take over a country, and then started to deport people incessantly of a
Richard.
certain grouping.
Yeah.
Trying to stay away from, but you know who I'm talking about.
But yeah,
But
and that's not the
so
first case of that shit.
no, it's not, because
Yeah.
going back like Rome, that's where Hitler, that's where the United States got their playbook. If you look at what the leader of Germany at the time said, is that he got a lot of his playbook from the early United States playbook
Hmm.
of
Oh yeah.
Manifest Destiny. And where
Uh-huh.
did we get a lot of, not us, but like where did the United States get a lot of their playbook from, is from the Roman Empire. So it all goes
Hmm.
back to that. Like we're just following a blueprint to like the
Hmm.
inevitable.
Yep.
And it's what happens whenever anyone starts to like deport people like that. It always happens, and you got to look at the Nazis. You got to look at anybody who starts deporting people incessantly. They don't just go after the people that they're saying that they're going to go after. They start going after everybody. They go after dissidents. They go after people who
Yeah.
possibly just are nonconformists and who just don't want to
Exactly.
go along with the regime, so to speak. It's not just
Exactly,
always
bro.
about that. Yeah, it always comes down to like what whoever they can, they will kick out. It's never just about that. It starts with deportations of people that are like immigrants, and then it ends with people being rounded up who are just not in the norm. The
Yep.
every culture that has tried this has done that and has led up to that moment.
Yep.
It's like, like all these rednecks and like Republicans were worried about like FEMA camps and like stupid shit like that when like Obama was like president. And hey, I'm not saying that you're not wrong for thinking that that's a possibility, but think now. Use your critical thinking skills of what you're seeing around you of people getting rounded up, and think about what you believed at that time of what was going to happen, and think about the historical significance of people being rounded up like that and what that could lead to for you, for me, for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, that's yeah. It's a little like they're just kind of like pushing us a little bit, little by little. They push us more and more. See what's going on. They've deported thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, probably millions now,
Yeah,
that
that's what I was gonna
got
say.
thrown
It's
into like fucking, these other countries that have no human rights, and they get abused because like once you get deported to a different country, your jurisdiction is on that country. The U.S. has no power.
yeah, And that
and then you get traded off into
yeah.
whatever the fuck they want.
Remember at the beginning of Trump's whole thing when that one dude who was like not like actually like supposed to get deported like to El Salvador, he got deported to El Salvador, and then Trump
Uh-huh.
basically was just like, "Oh, well, that's it. It's up to them now. It's not up to me. What happens to him?"
Exactly.
It's literally
Well,
like it's as soon as
yeah,
shit goes, that's it. Same
bro,
thing.
there's
If you lose your passport in another country, how are you gonna get home?
you don't. You gotta
Exactly.
hopefully the country and the authorities are nice enough to help you out, but a lot of the time they just use you for forced labor or
Forced
organs,
labor.
or if you're
Or
or
Oregon's. I love where
yeah,
this is going.
well, yeah, or if you're, or if
Yeah,
you're a
I just want
certain
to say, you walk into like the French embassy or whatever, or the United States embassy for France, and you're just like, I lost my passport. They're like, we have another American. We shall take his
uh,
kidneys.
yeah, no, don't take his kidney, it's unhealthy. Fucking
Yeah, don't take
yeah,
his. It's unhealthy. His
that's
liver's no
probably
good
like
too.
they probably don't take anything.
Yeah,
Actually, that's why the
they're like,
U.S. is like, not, the U.S. people like get sent back. Like, go back, fucking
they're like, we can't utilize
rotten.
these organs. They're like, we're gonna just ship them back. We'll just
Yeah,
help
bro,
them
this
out. Let them
body has
stew
diabetes.
in their swamp.
This guy has diabetes already at 25, bro.
This guy
We're
has
good.
diabetes already at 25. Oh my god.
But no, it's some very dark shit. I don't even want to say it in this podcast, but I've seen some reports of like, this is really dark, dude. Like, it worries me a lot too because, like, bro, I have like for example, like my mom has broken English. Luckily, she looks white, right? But her English is broken, and I don't want
Hmm.
I'm sure this is not gonna happen, but I don't want a situation where like she all of a sudden she disappears, and I have no idea what the fuck happened. And then I hear from
Yeah,
somebody, oh no, she got arrested. If I go to her apartment complex, right, and there's like, oh no, she got arrested, and I call authorities, and nobody know. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
yeah.
happening right now, right as we speak, dude.
I
That's
just
what's
want to
happening
say
right now.
for the audience too. I mean, if they couldn't figure out, your name is Los, and
Yeah.
you're of Spanish descent, obviously. So I
Allegedly,
just
yeah.
yeah, allegedly, just for the audience's context to the whole situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's just like
It's scary and like
it is.
bro, they're getting literally like those videos of people getting arrested in immigration, getting ripped off from their kids.
Yeah.
It's happening right now, dude. And it's been happening, but right now it's just happening as a spectacle because
Exactly.
they're ramping up. They're being like, check it out. This is happening now. You see it a little bit on like you see it on your TikToks, you see it on your Reddit, but then bro, we're gonna be to a point where, hey man, I gotta go to work. So like, I'm just gonna go to work and then go home and just keep all your papers with you. And because people are gonna be afraid to
Exactly.
like we're gonna adapt. The new norm is gonna be being afraid of getting pulled over to go to work because you might get kidnapped. And that is a fact. That that's
I
the gonna
100% agree.
that's gonna be the new norm, dude. Just like
I
the
I
yeah.
100%. Oh, I just want to say like you're 100% right, and
Mm,
I think the new norm too is even like random citizens, like you're going to get pulled over, you're going to like be checked, you're going to like even
bro.
if you have lived here for generations, you're going to be hassled by people. You're going to be,
Yo,
checked to see if you're someone you're with is like, possibly implicated in whatever they're looking for. And if not, they might look for a reason to just keep you around for the cops because maybe they caught you speeding or something like that.
dude.
It's gonna lead to a lot of bullshit in a surveillance state.
Well, I mean, it's not impossible because again, That shit's happening in other countries, bro.
It
That
does.
shit, you're and dude, again, like going to Afghanistan, right? First of all, the U.S. shouldn't have been there. They fucked it all up.
Yep.
It's even worse now. But now, like Taliban's back, and they're fucking, and they
They
just
never
lay
left,
down the
dude.
hammer, bro.
They became
They're
leaders of Afghanistan, the Taliban. I didn't mean to rhyme
they,
that time.
bro. They had access, dude. They had access to all the database. Everybody's like IP addresses, internet, fucking dude, they had the power of like tracking everybody's shit 100% down and be like, oh, you talked shit about the Taliban on social media. We saw that through our database. So like we're gonna arrest you and then just fucking get killed or get used up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That shit, dude. That and like you never know. Like fucking Congress can pass a law that like be like, all right, whatever you've ever said about like Trump or
Any
the
regime.
any regime, you're gonna be arrested, questioned,
Yep.
dealt with.
Yeah.
And it's happening now too. People have gotten arrested for like a Instagram story or like a Facebook post. Uh, Mind you, they do say like crazy shit, like very like on the nose stuff. But
Yeah.
there's people who have like lost their job, and it's not illegal to lose your job over like different opinion on a private forum. I don't know. It's just very ugly right now,
Yeah.
and it's gonna get
Well, that's
worse if we don't
well,
do anything about it.
that's what so so what we're knocking on is what a lot of our British compadres like to call what do you call that thought crimes. So like our friends in Britain call it thought crimes, and what it essentially is like in Canada they're doing this too. Like there was a guy who taught his dog how to do like the salute. And what ended up happening was, you know what salute I'm talking about.
Oh
And what
yeah,
ended
yeah,
up,
that was in Canada.
yeah, exactly. And that guy got arrested. And do I think that
Jail
people should
still.
be doing that? No. But
No,
like, do I think people should get arrested for that? No, hell no.
no, but they did. Yeah,
Yeah, and that right there is what we're kind of knocking on is like getting to a point where like crazy shit happens. And I just want
yeah.
to say real quick, we have someone who entered the area.
I
Our
just saw that.
gracious co-host. Yeah.
I'm just observing for a moment. You can cut this out. I'm about to drive home and I want to listen to you guys.
Yeah, no
Kada.
worries.
Free entertainment. You guys keep talking, okay? I'm just
Oh,
a
okay.
ghost. Just a
Yeah,
ghost.
that's cool.
Yeah, we're fucking.
But yeah, we're kind of knocking on like thought crimes right now, which is kind of crazy. Like you said, yeah, that happened in Canada. Like all
Yeah,
kinds of like Canada, if you think about it, I hate to say it, our 51st state, as they say. But Canada's like an experiment. I'm sorry. Canada's like an experiment for like the United States, so to speak. Like, so a lot of wacky ideas that get thrown around up there. Same thing with Britain to a lesser extent, but like a lot of the wacky ideas that get thrown around up in Canada end up kind of creeping their way down to us. So like it's partly due to like their democracy kind of like aspect, but like a lot of them are kind of like a lot like us, so to speak.
yeah,
Canadians are just like us. That
yeah.
just sounds so crazy. Um, but yeah, it's just like crazy shit. Like we're knocking on like that kind of shit, like getting in trouble for what you say. There's when that thing that happened that we mentioned a couple times happened, a couple months ago. Like there were people getting fired left and right because of the shit that they were saying on social media because of all the crazy
Mm-hmm.
shit that they were going off about. And I saw some crazy shit about that. So like I can only imagine how many people got like fired.
Yeah, if they didn't like hide their stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's gonna happen no matter what. But like, yeah, it
Yeah.
just sucks because like we're entering like a cancel culture era, so to speak, of like
Yeah.
we were so everybody was so worried about like the Me Too movement when that was like actually like a good
Yeah.
thing. But like now people are just worried in general about what they're gonna say about anything because it can just lead to like issues about whatever they're talking about. Which is
Yeah.
kind of like that's kind of like messed up. Like, how Elon Musk kept going around saying like we need to bring back comedy, like, we need to bring back free speech, not just comedy. Comedy goes along with it, and we're at a point where we can't even like say anything. I don't give a shit if somebody makes like jokes that are about like left wingers or like all this crazy shit. If they make jokes about right wingers, I'm gonna laugh equally to both those things. So
Yeah.
it's like to me, it's you know what I mean. A good joke is a good joke, and everything is like subjective. So it's all about your perspective.
But at the
Again,
same time,
didn't
Elon Musk was like blocking, like banning people for what they were saying about him.
well, I know that's exactly it. So like he's just like a supreme hypocrite, and like all these
Yeah.
people like in this like administration should live up to what they said and allow for free speech and allow for like fair criticism. And like, you know what I mean? People are going to be like, "Oh, fake news and all this shit." Like, yeah, the news sucks. Everybody on CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, they all suck. All of these
Bro,
entities
yeah.
are all awful. And you know
You
what? They paint
yeah.
a certain side. I what? Yeah. What's up?
don't Oh. I was gonna
Well,
say, yeah, you're right. I don't know who's like who, who in their right mind watches the news anymore and it's like, oh, like totally this is true. I mean,
well,
no, the news
that
is very yeah, the news is very
it's all too
theatrical.
one-sided. Yeah, and it's way too theatrical. And it's like
Yeah.
we try to watch like independent media, and it's like to a certain extent like you can find really good independent like leaning independent media. And
Yeah.
it's like, you know what I mean? But it's like even still, like now that's being like kind of corrupted. Like the first of that, I think, was like Joe Rogan, who used to be more objective than he is, but now is
Mm.
like objectivism is kind of leading to his downfall because now he's just like coming out and like and saying and being a yes man to everything. And it's like you need objective criticism. You don't need objective what's the word? Like yes manning. I forget what the objective praise. That's what I guess it would be. Like,
Mm.
if you have a guy in front of you who's constantly just like I hate the government, and you're just like, yeah, man, you're saying all the right shit. And then you have a guy the next week who's just like, oh yeah, the government's doing everything for us that they can and they're amazing. And you're just like, yeah, man, you're totally right. At a certain extent, you wonder where that guy truly stands on anything. You don't know if what he's
Yeah.
saying is
Yeah.
bullshit or you know what I mean?
Also, you can't like dude is like super rich, so he like his
Yeah, he
brain's
doesn't give
already
a fuck
not
anymore.
does his brain's already not in that like I gotta
Yeah,
pay attention to things around me and I gotta
yeah.
survive. Now his brain's in like, yeah, sure, whatever, I don't care. It
He
doesn't.
pretty
I'm
much
just
is like
gonna do whatever I want after this. This conversation has no. This has nothing to do with anything in my life. I have to
yeah,
deal
he's
with.
like
Like,
he's like a golden retriever, and that he's just like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then all
because
of a
he's like,
sudden, like, all of a sudden, if he hears like a word like ball for a golden retriever, but for him it's like elk hunting or like outdoor shit, he's
yeah,
just like, huh, what? Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Oh man, yeah,
Yeah,
I skinned a deer. Yeah. Oh, oh,
yeah, because he's like, oh, let me talk about these like really important social things. Like, yeah, people are just not able to afford rent, and I'm just like, okay, what the fuck are you to be all like? I'm supposed to listen to him and be like, yeah, Joe Rogan's right. Nobody can afford rent. But
I
you're just like, this guy can afford rent all the, like what, like
Yeah.
who is this
Well,
guy?
it's
He doesn't speak
amazing that
for
he's
me.
like, well, it's amazing he's talking about all that shit too, because like he like spent so much time being like, yeah, we can't afford rent like a year ago, talking about like Biden and shit. And now he like refuses to say like shit about like the orange guy. He's just like,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. They're not doing the right stuff in there, man. I don't know.
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
little
It's
weird,
been
man.
really weird, man. Yeah, no, dude. Seriously, yeah. He's not talking shit about it. He sponsored Trump, bro. Like all his friends are Trumpies.
See,
Also, have
that's
you?
where he fucked up.
Yeah.
Also,
Well,
have I what?
oh, have you heard I saw like a compilation video of like people talking about how it is to be at the mothership and how like fucked up it is. Like,
No, but that sounds about accurate,
oh
you know?
man, yeah, it's like really fucked up.
Oh, are you talking about like podcast cringe or like too lazy to try or like one of those like things?
I forgot what it was.
It's like they like dissect like the Rogansphere and shit like that. And they were talking about
Yeah,
like how Tim Dillon like brought a guy to like
yeah.
to the club and he's like, you gotta get out of here right now, man.
But
He,
you gotta, yeah.
he's like he's like he's
It's
like
like
that
he's
guy
bombing up there. You gotta get him out. It's like I know.
he's like, I got my stuff. And he's like, no, Joe Rogan wants you out. You got to get
No,
out of here, man. You got to
yeah,
like go across the street or something. You got to just leave.
yeah. And Joe Litz is going. So, the mothership is a wonderful place, and everything they do is great. It's like or whatever, just like completely
I'm
pandering.
sorry to interrupt, but can you give me a quick breakdown, a more informed breakdown on that situation?
Yeah,
So wait, why did they kick him out?
So Tim Dillon brought this guy that he said was funny like to like the comedy mothership. And I guess he was like chilling in like the green room or something with Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan just like starts saying to him that he's like doing awful and that he's bombing out there. And Tim Dillon's just like, yeah, I know, I got. And Joe Rogan's just like, yeah, he's got to go. He can't be here. He's tainting this whole operation basically. So Joe Rogan told the dude, told Tim Dillon to like tell him to get like kick rocks basically. So Tim Dillon just like, yeah, you got to get out of here. And the dude like didn't even have a chance to like pack his stuff up, according to Tim Dillon, but
just
he might
like
have
no,
just been joking.
yeah,
Yeah. He's just like, you got to get out of here. And he's just like, my backpack's in like the green room. And he's like, no. Joe
you don't
is not
understand.
happy. Yeah, you don't understand.
Joe
Joe is
Rogan is
not
not
happy.
happy.
He said that you're bombing and he wants you out of here now. He's like just go across the street, go to the bar across the street. He's like go anywhere but here now. Just leave. So
Yeah,
that was great. And that was like a
but
thing like yeah.
yeah. Apparently, Joe hires like crazy Navy SEALs, like ex-Marines and shit, to be their bodyguards, and they're just super forceful and like super mean to like guests and shit. It's just fucking hilarious to think that.
He should just hire more people from like Kill Tony. Like there's a lot of like big dudes that ended up becoming like the bouncers on like the clubs when he used to do his like last place. He should just do that more.
Yeah, nah, I mean he's gonna hire fucking hard-headed fucking crazy guy. Because Joe's all about like, no, I need the most alpha people here. Like he's probably
Yeah.
and he's also probably paranoid. Like at this one, he's probably just like super paranoid about like everything. Like he's probably like borderline schizophrenic to like, you know what I mean? Be like, oh, they're watching me. I need to have like really fucking tough guys like that are
Well,
they don't go
I
fuck if I wanted them to kill somebody, they would kill somebody.
I hate to say this, and I think this is like a downfall of like a lot of leadership in general, but like I think this is just like a common denominator across the board with like people who end up in major leadership positions. And especially people like Joe Rogan who like he talked up the mothership so majorly that what he
Yeah.
ended up doing was he set himself up to have to push a successful like point of view. And there's people out there that like I would say that do that. But at the same time, a lot of them end up perfectionists, and that becomes like a major issue. Like there's James Cameron. He's like one where this is like I was trying to think of a positive. I think he's a positive circumstance where this worked out, where he talks up a big game, and then when he puts out shit, it is genuinely spectacular or great. But like Joe Rogan, before he created this, like Stanley Kubrick's a guy who like does the opposite. He doesn't talk a big game. He's just is what he is. And then when he makes shit, people are like, wow, that was crazy. But he's also a perfectionist. So it's a thing with these people that are like perfectionists that like do all of this crazy shit. And some of them talk up a big game, but I think that's also the issue with a lot of these people is they have such tunnel vision with things is they think they're the Kubricks and they think they're the James Camerons. But in reality, well, in reality, though, like a lot of these people in those positions of power ended up manipulating a lot of other people and getting the best out of them. You know what I mean? They may have thought that everything they did was perfect, but they also got the perfect thing out of other people. And I think that's what Joe Rogan lacked is he thought his vision needed to be perfect because he thought that all these other great people had a perfect vision and that's all he needed. He didn't realize that in order to accomplish that, he also needed like these he needed like everything else to like go into place. Like hiring bodyguards that are like ex-Navy and shit, that sounds amazing on paper. You know what I mean? Like that sounds like you're never gonna have a problem. It sounds like you know what I mean? Like on paper, that sounds like holy shit. Like
on paper, I'd be like, uh-oh.
No, I mean on paper to me it sounds like okay, these guys are sort of level-headed. They're ex-military, so they you know, they follow orders.
Wait,
Well,
level-headed ex-military? I don't think those belong in the same.
Hold on. I'm trying to like, you know, I believe that there's people in the military that are really good people and that have come out of the military that are really good people. Just throwing that out there. But I want to say that, like, you know, on paper, when you read that, like, oh, ex-military, it's like, oh, somebody who follows orders, somebody who stays in line, does what they're told, all this other shit. But what you don't see is that, like, these people could have been, like, maybe a little unhinged or maybe been, like, the crazy guy of the crew or anything like that. And I think that's something that you have to consider on, like, a personal basis is who these people are that you're trying to acquire and be a part of your operation on, like, a personal level. And I think that's a failure amongst a lot of people in power that think that they can create things like the mothership is they end up seeing like things on paper that just look really good, but when they implement them in practice you end up getting like these assholes who end up hassling people, you know, as security when you could have, you know what I mean, like again, like the Kill Tony thing, like Kill Tony back in the day, you know what I'm talking about because you used to watch it at the time when this happened. Kill Tony, you used to well they remember they used to like do a lot of bodyguard situations where like there would be these big dudes who would be like, oh, I was an ex bodyguard at this place or that place, and Kill Tony would be like, well, do you want to work at this place, you know, like where you're performing right now? And a lot of the people would be like, hey, I'll try it out.
Yeah.
And I think that right there is good because you have people who have a personal connection to the thing that they're doing, and they're not going to look at like if a comedian is like causing a hassle, they're not going to look at this guy as like, oh, he's just a random asshole that's causing trouble. He might look at this person and see past all that and see what the joke is or what they're going for on a, you know what I mean, a more personal level, and see them more as like a human being.
You can see, no, 100% everybody deserves to be treated right. And I've met people in the military, Marines. I've met Marines that I've worked with directly, and they're like super hard workers, not level-headed at all, first of all, but yes, good people, good workers. But sometimes if you're hiring security for your own club and you're one of the richest people, most high profile people, this small ass city called Austin, Texas, with a homeless population of like,
I'd say
fuck
it's a
no,
big city. No,
it's a
it's
big ass city, but it's not as big as like, I think it's big, but it's not like there's not many places you can go. You
yeah,
know,
I know what you mean.
it's
Everything's
not like,
kind of like consolidated.
yeah, it's a big city, but there's only so many places you can be at to enjoy the city. It's not like New York where it's like you can go literally fucking miles out and you're still in New York and you will never see another person again. The same person you see in that day, you'll never see them again. Austin is like different, just but
I know what you mean.
I think like I feel like Joe's mindset now, uh, especially now, is probably like I gotta protect myself and my property, and that's the mothership and his family and like and himself.
Well,
And
that's
he's
what I'm
probably like
saying.
he's constantly looking behind his back, and he comes from a world of like, okay, martial arts and also UFC. So when he's hiring security, he's not going with like, oh, this guy's a good person. Yeah. Oh, he's going with like, I need somebody who can beat this other psycho up. So I'm gonna vet people based on this level of skill and mindset that I need. And
Mhm.
that's where the problem is, because now you're just like, okay, I can't go for the nice guys. I gotta go with guys that are just willing to fucking protect whatever I want them to protect, no questions asked. And he knows exactly what kind of personality that is because he's around fighters, he's around martial artists, that constantly fight. He's a lot, he's around like he's around military dudes, ex-military dudes, like the
He's around bad mofos, to put it
bad
bluntly.
bad mofos, dude. Yeah, exactly. So I think like, and then once like, he hires these people to work at the mothership. Okay, cool. But he didn't hire them based off like their kindness or anything. He just hired them based off their like force. He doesn't
Yeah,
care about their personality.
like I
You have
said,
all these.
it looked good
Yeah,
on paper.
yeah, it looked good on paper. But if I see like Joe Rogan's like paper, I'd be like, this doesn't look good on paper. This is what I'm saying. It's like Joe Rogan's list is very different from like Tony Hinchcliffe that only hangs out with like fucking, comedians and
Oh, I know.
and Brian Redband.
But that's kind of what I'm saying is that he
Yeah.
needs to have more of that mindset,
Yeah.
and that's what he's lacking. He's got more of
Yeah.
like that black and white mindset, but I guess
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
makes sense. I didn't think about his
Makes
position
sense.
in life.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you got to think about like what what he sees and he knows like, yeah, like he's gonna be around all these UFC fighters, and he's gonna think about like kind of security what I need. Well, definitely security wrong enough to like fuck this person. Like he's probably gonna be like, I need security that like this dude to do security that constantly spars and is constantly getting hit in the head and has just like no emotions besides I got hired and I'm gonna work for my boss. That's all he wants them to do.
Like an American Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. Just like the dumbest, burliest people, just to like, I'm gonna be like, oh, man, I think you should fucking kill him, and the guy would be like, "Ugh," you know,
Oh, Joe Rogan wants me to kill him.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly the type of people that like people like Joe Rogan would hire. Not
That's
like,
funny.
oh, hey man, oh yeah, I got hired by Joe. Yeah, he found me, at a ice cream shop, and he just thought I was really strong.
He
It's just
found
like,
me at an
nah,
ice
bro.
cream shop.
Not the dude he's looking for. He's looking for it's like the guy who like is not allowed at this like this other martial arts gym because he's
Yeah.
too aggressive. Like that's who he's looking for.
If that did happen, that like interaction, that would be like a CIA plant.
What, the ice cream scoop guy?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, gonna plant this guy at like Joe Rogan's favorite ice cream parlor. Be like, oh,
Joe
hey,
Rogan's
man,
favorite ice
what's
cream.
here, mate? Yeah,
Man, they got really good pistachio here. I love this so much, man. It's so good.
I really
I
like the
love
way
it.
you that man. Really
Man,
frozen.
have you tried this fresh sample of pistachio, man? It's so good.
You're very hard and handsome, man.
You're very Yo,
You're like a little cutie, man.
I really like the way you scoop that ice cream, man. Have you ever thought about, being a bouncer at a club, man?
Yeah, exactly.
You're very good looking, even though you're very burly, man. I like that.
No, burly man. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. He's rich as fuck, dude. He's not like you and me, where he's like, you
No, he's
know,
definitely not like you and me. That is for
no.
sure.
It's more.
That
He's
is,
more like me. He's more like me than anything. But
he's more like me. Why is Joe Rogan like you? Let's get into that. Let's get into the psychology there.
we're both short.
I don't know,
We're both
man.
short.
I don't know. The size, man. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I
Yeah, I
don't
don't
know,
know,
man.
bro.
I think I do a good Tim Dillon doing Joe Rogan.
You do.
I don't know, man.
I don't know, man.
I used to question everything, man, but now I question nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, man.
Exactly.
It's all pretty crazy, man. Like, I like to
It's
go
all
elk
crazy.
hunting. It's all pretty
It's like
crazy, man.
you know when you have a friend that like you work with, and then they get the manager position, and they just become a total fucking asshole.
They just become a total fucking asshole. Yeah, I know what you mean. Oh shit. It's like a corporate position is what it is. It's like that friend who's cool but like as a manager, but then goes to like a corporate position and he's like just completely different.
Just gets just it's just a different. It's just like the human natural thing, bro. Like once we don't have to worry about something, we don't have to worry about how people perceive us. Like now you can be like more dismissive.
See,
You know,
I
you don't.
think it's almost the opposite. I think it's like cancel culture. So I think like once these people like achieve these like higher up positions of power, they have to worry about like how they are perceived to people
I guess so. Yeah.
more often. And so it's like the cancel culture thing. So like social media leads like more people to like be like looked at, but it also leads to like more scrutiny. So if somebody does something stupid, that can lead to them losing their job. So more people in like positions of power, if you're like a cool dude and you get up there, then you have to like learn how to like separate yourself from the people that you once viewed as your peers because now they're your
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're your
Yeah.
employees.
You have to be like really honest. You know, it's like different ways of doing it. Like I don't know. There's some people who like don't fall into that, or maybe it takes them longer. You know,
Well,
but
I think the thing is about like positions of leadership and stuff like that is you have to have a measure of rationale, but also like a measure of logistics, like a measure of like thought process of like cold calculation where, oh, okay, this is what like a lot of them have, and a lot of them think is the only thing that you should have. But I think on the flip side of that, you have to have a measure of compassion. And that's a thing that, a lot of people don't realize that you need in a position of power, but it allows you to retain that position of power because the people that are
Mhm.
below you are looked at a little more favorable. They feel more favorable. They feel more connected to you. And by what's the word? By the transverse property or whatever you want to call it, like,
Yeah.
they will do a better job or reflect your leadership more. And if you're a bad leader, then by all means, this falls for you. Do what you got to do. But this will lead to you getting fired. But maybe that's why more people are cold and calculative because they're bad leaders. But what I think is you need to have that compassion, but in that understanding on the flip
Yeah.
side of being that cold and calculating person. Because
Yeah.
you know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You can teach people all the live long day and have that compassion, but it's up to them to utilize that. And by connection, if they do utilize that, it reflects better on you and you have a better team.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
100%. 100%. Yeah, no, as a leader needs to like lead by example and
Exactly.
be in front of the fucking, just not be afraid to be in front of it and like talk to all your, people that work below you and make them feel like they're equal to you. There's like,
Exactly.
but yeah, there's no compassion. There's no connectivity. They just got into that position and they want to be looked at as like, you know, your friend. And they want to be looked at not your friend so much, that they just like come comfortable being like super dismissive about everything. And
Yeah.
yeah, and that's what happens because they're afraid of losing that, like, people being, they think people are gonna walk over them just because they're nice, and that's some people grow up that way. It's like a defense
Yeah.
mechanism.
And it's like you know what it comes down to too. I say this a lot, and I'm guilty of this. You've seen that, and the co-host has also, the anti-host has also seen that. Is it comes down to like a control thing. So like if you view that this is like a project that you have a personal like ounce of what's the word, control, but also responsibility over, because control and responsibility, even though they are kind of connected in a way, and in people's minds they might feel, because like a lot of things that they're responsible over they have no control over, but a lot of things that they have control over they aren't responsible for.
Right.
You know what I mean? It goes vice
Yeah.
versa, it goes backwards, but more so the
Right.
first thing. But
Yeah.
more so than not, though, things that people are in control of, they are responsible for. And a lot of people view things like projects or things that like are their personal endeavors, like creative things like this podcast. Like if something goes not their way, they might like, flip out or like
Mhm.
or become an asshole, like going back to like the Stanley Kubrick and James Cameron thing. Like, artists are like that. People like will act a fool or do stupid things in the name of creativity. But at the end of the day, what you want to do is you want to let people be people, and you want to let them, you want to, like I said, lead a horse to water, but make them allow them to make their own decisions. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that at that point that doesn't reflect on you, and you can record that in your own personal like view, I guess, of the world. If they don't follow your instructions or anything like that, then they're not following your leadership. And then you
Yeah.
can think that maybe that's on you, and there should be an ounce of like, or there should be a modicum of like, inner self-reflection on something like that. But at the end of the day, people are people and they'll do what they want.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta let people be people.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like at the end of the day, like Joe Rogan is his own worst enemy in a way, because like or maybe he's not. He's not his own worst enemy, because like the worst enemy for Joe Rogan would completely destroy him. He is like essentially he's not destroying himself, but he's letting himself get passed over. Like he's letting himself be de-evolutionized. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he was so into like forward thinking and just thinking about things in a different way, that like he's attained a status of like going in circles and just feeding into his own ego. And like now if he tries to get out of that like bubble, or if somebody else, I shouldn't even say that, if somebody else tries to pull him out of that bubble, he's just like, why are we talking about this? Is nonsense. I'm a millionaire now.
Yeah. He can just dismiss you and not give a fuck. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He's not afraid.
Is
He's not. I don't know. He's not.
Take a stand,
I think he's more
everybody.
afraid to take a stand because he's in too deep with like very powerful people.
So everybody come take his hand and
Come
walk
take-
this road together through the storm, whatever weather. Sorry, that was Eminem lyrics.
Oh, I was gonna say Pokemon.
No. When I said he's not afraid, I just went into like an Eminem thing there.
That's good.
Yeah. But yeah, he's a weird guy. What do you think about Tim Dillon? I keep going back and forth with Tim Dillon like
Yeah,
now. Like
he's definitely. He's kind of coming back a little bit. So
he
first it
is.
was like
He is.
funny, satirical. It's, funny satire. You knew he was like fucking around, and then he became very much like. I don't know. I don't know. He would just say a lot of things, and I'd be like, I don't know. It's a little
So
weird, but
well,
sorry. Oh, so
well
go
no.
ahead.
Well, I just wanted to say like so we have another guest on the show is he goes by Utah. He basically we were talking about like Tim Dillon and shit, and like I was telling him and the anti-host that I feel like with Tim Dillon, he used to talk about what he liked to talk about and like how he really felt about things, but now he feel like maybe he feels like he had attached himself to like the Rogansphere or like that audience. So now I feel like he, for a while there at least, he pigeonholed himself into like that area and like going along with like say the like the orange guys kind of shit and shit like that.
Mm.
And I think that led to him like being like, well, I gotta go with this because this is my audience now, up until like the point that like all the Epstein shit was like starting to blow up in the
Well,
orange guy's face like a lot like this past like summer and fall.
yeah, now he's pedaling back with the orange guy for sure.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, but
I
like
think
I think kind of I don't know. He kind of cooked. He was talking about the that music festival
the
and
Riyadh festival, yeah,
the
that was
Riyadh.
hilarious.
That was hilarious because that was a good point, and you're just like, yeah, that's a pretty good argument. Because you're just like, yeah, okay. On one side, you're like, no, accept these people, accept everybody, blah 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 blah. But it's like, don't fucking go there and do, do comedy. It's like, wait a minute, what? That
But
was
it's
a funny ass
hilarious.
argument.
Well, it's hilarious what happened to him too, because he actually was going to go there and do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But and then did you know because all right, so this is another thing that we all talked about too on that episode that I just mentioned. But did you know that when he did that, he actually still got paid for the comedy festival? It wasn't as much, but he still actually like in his contract got paid.
Oh, that's funny.
Isn't that hilarious? So he joined in with the Riyadh Comedy Festival, then made a bunch of jokes that they didn't like, that the government didn't like, so they pulled him from it. But they still paid him. They still paid him.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
That is funny. Yeah.
Like you can't get any better than that. Like he
Yeah.
truly like that is like the most Tim Dillon thing to like ever happen ever. And that's how you know that he is still him. Because
Yeah.
like if he was truly a sellout, he would have just went along with this whole thing. But he knew that he was poking the bear. You know?
Oh yeah. Yeah. He was like he knew. It was like, wouldn't it be hilarious if I got told not to go for making jokes about it? So he made jokes about it. He got told not to go, and he still got paid.
It's amazing. It's beautiful.
That's amazing. But I will say, like, yeah, the last episode where he made that point, I'm like, yeah, he's right. It's like, who the fuck, like, correct me if I'm wrong for thinking that's a good point, but it's like that was a good point.
What did he say in it? I
much.
remember him talking about like the slavery joke, but I forgot like what he said about the Riyadh Comedy Festival.
So he was saying that I forgot how he brought it up, but he was saying that, you know, there's an issue where all these people that got like pretty much like canceled or like got told to like, fuck you for doing that comedy, like that comedy show in that country with no human rights and whatever, and like the religion, and don't you think it's dangerous and blah blah blah. And it's like, okay, everywhere is dangerous, but you are the side of like, oh, let these, let everybody come in because they're going through shit and blah blah blah. So it's like, why can we let them in, but I can't go out there and spread my, my art, my skills to this country? Like, why can't I go here? Like, I get
I,
scrutinized,
well,
and
all right, I get what he's saying, but at the same time, like
yeah,
I think what a lot of people's like opinion on that is that they weren't going to perform for the people of Saudi Arabia. They were more so going to perform for like the dignitaries and the like the royalty of Saudi Arabia and all the like the the
okay, yeah,
higher ups. And
yeah,
that's I think where the issue is. It's like if you just go to perform at like a random place in order to like help people out that are there, and you're like, you make the tickets
yeah,
real cheap and you like fill up the seats with like thousands of people from the local areas and you go around, then yeah, that makes sense. But it
yeah.
wasn't like that. You know what I mean?
It
It was
wasn't
more
like
so
that
like, yeah,
for
it
like
was
the
more
elite.
so like, what is it?
It was for the elite. It was more for the elite.
Yeah, exactly. And that's I think the big issue that everyone had.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like who I thought was kind of like funny about it is like Shane Gillis. And he's shaping
Oh
up to
yeah,
be like one of my favorite like comedians just in general. But
yeah.
right?
He,
But
yeah. He's good. I
so
used to
like
love
Shane,
Matt, but whatever.
yeah,
Anyways,
well Matt McCusker's good too. He's in this too. Like so him and Matt
yeah,
McCusker were talking on their secret podcast or whatever I think it was. And they were talking about so he was saying like, oh, they asked him to actually do that. And he's just like, I thought about it, but then I was like, oh, aren't those the guys that did I usually
like,
code well, I was gonna say never forget. That's what we call it on here. But yeah, that's the
oh,
one.
oh, my
But
bad.
that's you're good. I'm gonna still keep that in, but I'm gonna kind of blur it a little bit. But yeah, he basically said that. And it's like why are we going to perform like the royalty of that country that like decided to like do like some of the most bullshit thing in our history? I'm not saying the
Yeah,
people. I think like I said, you know what I mean, if we went to another country and we were performing for like different cities in that place and like stuff like that, that I think the comedian should just go crazy. Go ahead, go do that. That's great.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
go to China, perform for like mass like people, whatever. I don't care. Anywhere. Saudi Arabia, wherever you
Yeah.
want to go where people have a problem with the government,
It's,
go do it.
I guess
Just don't
it's for the people. Yeah,
it's for the people, yeah, not the government.
not the government.
And yeah, and it's like I lost a lot of respect for a few people that did go, to be honest with you. There was like
Yeah,
and there's some people like I had no respect for, so I didn't really, you know what I mean, lose any. Like Kevin Hart's the one that I was just like, okay, that makes sense. But like,
right.
you know what I mean? Like even Dave Chappelle to an extent, like where he's at in his career, I kind of understood like his mindset. Not that I agree with it, but like, when you understand like the decisions people make,
Right.
that's how I feel about it. Like I understood
Yeah.
the decision he made from his
Yeah.
own standpoint.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
there's people like Bill Burr is the one where I couldn't believe it that he
Yeah.
actually went over there and did that. And
Yeah.
in my opinion, it's like I don't know. That's like worst case scenario for somebody like him because he's even talked shit about like other people performing for governments and shit like that and going over to like other places and performing for like governments. He's used the phrase blood money before. And that's like it kind of sucks when you're somebody who's like done that and then ends up like,
Yeah,
trading in your morals.
yeah. Oh, but I'll take like 5 million of this blood money, no problem.
Well, exactly. And it's like I love Bill Burr. Like I still think he's one of my favorite comedians. But
Yeah,
like I definitely lost like a little bit of respect for him. And like I gained respect for somebody like say Shane Gillis, who like the way he feels about it, it's just like he's just like why would I do that? Like for
yeah,
these guys, like for that for that government.
yeah,
And I get that.
yeah. No, that's for sure true.
You know
That's
what I
crazy.
mean?
Who else went there? Did Louis C.K. go there?
Yeah, he's one that like it's funny is Louis C.K. is like the opposite of Bill Burr for me because like I get why he went there even though he's like sort of like principled in a weird way,
Mm,
in a very weird way. I get
yeah,
that he would just go there for he's like Tim Dillon. I get why Tim Dillon went or was
right.
going to go, I should say. You know what I
Uh,
mean? I get why he signed up. I get why Louis C.K. signed up. It's one of those
right.
things where it's like, yeah, Louis C.K. Went. You know who's funny that went? Not funny. Like it's he's a funny guy, but it's just hilarious that he went because he was trying to cash a paycheck. Was Ari Spears? You remember that guy from Mad TV?
Ari Spear. I remember the name. I forgot what he looks like.
Yeah,
Fuck.
he was on Mad TV for a while. It was
Yeah, yeah,
he just like he's one of those people like that's like not really that famous anymore. And it's
yeah,
just like funny that he just like decided to like take this paycheck.
yeah. He needed it. Yeah, there's a bunch of like has-been comedians that took that paycheck for sure, and that's
Yeah.
understandable. But they never went out and like talked like this had this moral high ground like Bill Burr did, and he was like so vocal about all this shit.
Well, that's what
So,
that's the only reason why I keep mentioning him specifically. And
yeah,
like all these other comedians, like I know
like,
why they went over. I know they wanted just a paycheck, but yeah, exactly. Like Bill Burr, I had respect for because he would say shit like that about how he kind of, wasn't on that level. But like when you actually do something on that level, it it makes you look like, what else are you saying that's bullshit? You know what I mean? Do you really feel the way you do about a lot of other things that you supposedly feel passionate about?
Zach. Yep, yep,
I don't know.
yeah,
It's also like the idea of like we were talking earlier about like social media. It's like the idea of meeting your heroes too. Like don't ever meet your heroes cuz they
right.
might disappoint you.
Oh, for sure.
I know. You know who I'm kind of getting disappointed a little bit in and it's not even because of him. I actually I think this dude is really cool or he seems like he's cool, but maybe he has some skeletons in his closet, you know what I mean? It's one of those things. But Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
So like I've always thought Ryan Reynolds was really cool. I always liked a lot of his movies. Like I like his movie Just Friends a lot. That's one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time. And
mm,
we're gonna be doing a Christmas movie list soon, like we did the Halloween movie list. Potentially maybe you'll be on that one, Los. We'll see what we can do, right? Yeah? No?
yeah.
Yay? Nay?
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what's up. But that's probably gonna be on the list. Fantastic Christmas movie. But I really like Ryan Reynolds as an actor in all of his like comedic roles, but like everything that happened recently with like Blake Lively and like all that bullshit where like you know what I mean? Like we find out that she's like secretly like a massive Karen, like massive, and is probably actually
Yeah,
like
bro.
just horrible to people. What is it?
Wait, me?
Would you? Yeah, would you
I said,
say?
I just said, yeah, bro.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Like it all happened because of this lawsuit between her and Justin Baldino, I think is what his name is.
I don't know anything about anything that's going on there. I'm so out of.
I think this was about a year ago. There was a movie that came out, and it was between this guy named Justin Baldino and Blake Lively. And I guess they were like gonna I forget. I think Justin Baldino was the director and the star of it, and Blake Lively was also like one of the stars of it. And if anybody could correct me if I'm wrong in any of this, let me know in the comments, please, because this is kind of a thing that's outside my wheelhouse too, but I have a vague idea. So what ended up happening is Justin Baldino ended up like saying like that. I forget if I think he was like saying like good things about Blake Lively. I forgot. But on set, like it was like there were major issues, like they could not get along, like it was very bad vibes. And what ended up happening was I forgot who started it. If Blake Lively was nice in interviews, and then Justin Baldino said something, or the opposite. Justin Baldino said something, Blake Lively was nice, or whatever. And something happened. Somebody said something, and then Blake Lively, I think, ended up again, correct me if I'm wrong, everybody, but like she ended up like saying that it was like a hostile work environment and like all this shit and like saying that he was like a weirdo, like a Jared Leto type dude, if I'm not mistaken. Again, please correct me if I'm wrong. But all this shit. And so like she ended up like going to bat and like suing like the I think like the production company or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think she ended up like losing the lawsuit, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that as well. Like I said, my memory's fuzzy about this whole situation, but I think she ended up losing the lawsuit. That it ended up getting to the point and ended up coming out where she's actually like super manipulative and like actually really crazy. And allegedly. And like she's horrible to work with and like super like Karen-esque and like says all this crazy shit and does like all this crazy shit. Like I actually, funny enough, like the other day saw, like, maybe this is why this was in my head. I saw a video of like a Blake Lively, like a montage or a compilation of like her like just being like a total asshole to people. It was funny.
I look into
But
that.
yeah, I'll send it to you. It's funny. But it's just it's wild. And like Ryan Reynolds, I forgot what started this whole thing. I know it was him, and how I'm losing like respect for this. But it's like I guess he like went so hard to bat for like Blake Lively that like you end up losing like a little bit of like respect for him because like of her craziness, which kind of sucks.
I mean, they're all crazy, dude.
Yeah,
All of
I think
Hollywood,
they all.
Hollywood, like they're just playing up they're they're playing up a character in every interview in every role. It's not who they are.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. They're usually pretty like neurotic and crazy, actually.
Kind of have like
Yeah,
stand out like that.
definitely.
You know,
Yeah.
you gotta be fucking self-centered. Yeah, neurotic and stuff like.
You gotta
No,
be self-centered and neurotic and stuff. Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
pretty much.
That's hilarious.